about the IRS webinar. This is an enhanced or upgrade to the previous webinar. Only what? Whenever you're dealing with the 10, it says that you examined it and you declare it's true. So when they try to do an assessment and you agree to it, you're agreeing that you know that's right. But if you don't agree to it, no, I don't owe anything. That's something you made up. And to be honest with you, they really don't know what your taxes are until you actually do them. Even if people are putting 1099s with your number on it, they really don't have a surefire way to know exactly what those numbers are because they all based on voluntary reporting. And what if somebody misses the digits and uses your number for some money that you never even earned? See all of the issues that's involved there? This is why disputing them and fighting them is the way to go because they have the burden of proof to prove their case. You don't have to prove it for them. Say, listen, hey, okay, well, you said this, prove it. Show me in your records that that's true. And if you ever been in an assessment, they always their first line of question is to get you to agree that this happened. Oh, did you make money over here? Did you do this? Is this yours? You see them saying that? Oh, yeah, I did. I worked for them. And then you start talking. That's why you don't talk to them. All right. Any questions on that?
Yeah, so I've crossed the 70 mark.
Right.
And to be blindsided with look, what about this here later on? I'm up in age and have to go through a lot of rigmarole with the IRS. I
Like
just want
what specifically?
well, I haven't
Or
dealt
is
with
this
this.
just an anticipation thing?
Yeah, just
Okay.
anticipating,
This is what I will say to you about anticipation. Stop anticipating the people to come bother you because if you do, you putting that out there in the ether in the universe, it's going to happen. You know you're a magnet for whatever you're thinking. You poking the bear when you thinking this might happen. Things that are seen come from the things that are unseen, meaning specifically, everything you're experiencing in your life right now is based off an idea you had previous. So stop stop thinking about them people. Think about something else. Something more pleasant. But I mean, it's good you got on the webinar, and now you'll have the tools just in case something happens. Because if they do come at you, all right, welcome to the UNbound Soul Show. Got tongue tied. With myself, Akeem, and Raquel.
Hi. I'm
Camera's
trying to
off
like
a little
center
bit.
myself.
Yeah, I need to do that for
There we go.
myself. Yeah.
There we go. That's a lot better.
Myself and Raquel. And today we're going to talk about the ongoing violence that man has experienced these days. And violence has been the history of man. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but what did you want to talk about specifically?
Well, I'm always about the kids and just how they're ingrained with so much disinformation, let's put it nicely. So, all right, we start off with the Bible verse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Blessed are those, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Matthew 5:9. So here we're meant to be peacemakers, but we're constantly exposed to violence.
Yeah.
So what is the agenda? To take us away from God.
Yeah, I would agree.
So that's why they're always bombarding us with things that aren't of peace at all. So I'm going to go over some things that are pretty common that we see on a regular basis
Mm-hmm.
that helps to foster this violence. So football comes on every Sunday
Mm-hmm.
and Monday, I believe. Monday nights, Monday night
Mm-hmm.
football. I don't watch football, so. Um, and then you have Super Bowl. So
Mm-hmm.
every week, you see that it's okay for men to just beat on each other, to just pound each other, right? And you get conditioned to think that that's okay.
Right.
So that's going to be running in your subconscious all the time.
Right.
A UC Berkeley, UC San Diego study found that unexpected losses by a team led to about a 10% increase in reports of male on female intimate violence. So, in other words, domestic violence.
Well, at home, when after they lost the games, a player went home and committed some type of violence.
Right, right. Um, and then when there's more emotional stakes, like the Super Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
there's more, reports of domestic violence.
Right.
And I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but at the Super Bowl or during the time of the Super Bowl, there's a high incidence of sex trafficking.
Really, I'm not aware because I
Mhm.
don't really watch.
They don't talk about it. It's not
Yeah.
something that they talk about. It's just so many people come in to watch it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the time when you can, have your trailers out not too far from where the Super Bowl is that whole weekend. Um, and unfortunately, a lot of people who have been kidnapped are now being trafficked.
Wow.
But yeah, it's pretty. I forgot what nonprofit organization specifically goes over that, but there is a nonprofit organization that specifically covers that. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that.
So people go
A
to
lot of people don't know.
to enjoy a game and then they get trafficked at the game.
No, no, no. There are people that are already trafficked. So that whole Super Bowl weekend and a few days beforehand, that it becomes like a brothel. The town that the Super Bowl
Oh,
is in, it
so
becomes like a
that's where they
brothel.
do the soliciting at the games.
Not necessarily at the games. I was just
The
that whole
different
weekend
areas.
is when it's like already known. It's
Okay.
already known that there's people who are being
You
trafficked,
have
and
people. Okay, so people who want to
yeah,
party and things like that. Okay,
exactly, exactly.
got it.
This is already known. So, um, people who have been missing or what have you, may end up being these people at the Super Bowl. Like that movie Taken,
Mhm.
how they they take these young girls and then they have these brothels,
Right.
right, for all these international girls or whatever. It's the same concept, but just for the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
Um, Now, during the game, there is a decline of crime or in crime because people are watching the game. They're being programmed,
Right. Right. They're home or they're
right?
somewhere.
They're home and they're really enthralled in the game.
Right.
So there's a reduction in crime. But after, that's when the crime goes up.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, and now these crimes are usually property crime and theft. And as far as the women, the domestic violence, I I presume that a lot of women drop charges because they're more fearful for their lives if they press charges against their significant other, or they're trying to make things work, or things like that.
Hmm.
So I bet if women continued with these charges, you would see a definite spike.
Hmm.
Now boxing, that one. So the studies on boxing have been done in the 1970s. So we don't have any more recent studies, but I mean, MMA and all this stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if this is continuing. Um, So, what a sociologist by the name of David Phillips found that homicide is there's a direct correlation with homicide and heavyweight championships.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Um, well,
That's,
when you automatically see that someone can get beat up like crazy and they win a trophy and they win all this money, it messes with your head and you think, oh, I can do it too.
mhm.
You know. So what they found was that homicides went up by 12.5%,
Mm.
with the biggest increase within the first 3 days of the fight. The more publicized, the more
Before
noticeable
the first 3 days
uh,
before the fight or
after the fight.
after the fight? Okay.
Yeah. So think about it. It's like that programming that keeps on playing in your head,
Yeah.
right? So for 3 days, it's really strong. I
Mm.
just watched this fight, and this guy won, and I'm like all pumped up about it, and I think
Mhm.
I can do it too. Like it messes with your mind.
Right.
Um, so think about Mike Tyson fights. I wonder how much homicide went up after Mike Tyson fights because those were highly publicized.
Right. Those were big fights. I haven't seen
Yeah.
fights that uh promoted that had the hype that his fights had
Yeah.
since then.
So like yeah, fights with Mike Tyson, Ali versus Frazier, those are all big
Those are big.
fights.
That was a big. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a
Yeah.
big. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but nothing recent has been done. But what they speculate is that there's the violence reward. The guy that basically just did the best job beating up the other guy wins.
Right.
You
Violence.
know.
I
Mm-hmm.
was, I enjoyed watching boxing matches, and then there came a time where like, we were actually enjoying somebody getting beat up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, well, I started. What kind of society are we that we want to see people fight and one guy win over the other?
Yeah.
Like, are we
I
this? Are we that? Are we intelligent? You don't see animals doing that. I mean, they do have some. Some do have violent interactions, like rams. They bang up against each
Mhm.
other. But
You don't
yeah,
have an audience. You don't
huh?
have other Rams watching and cheering it on, you know?
Right, right.
Um, but yeah, it's I lost my train of thought. It has to do with the boxing. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, like and now with the MMAs, it's just like they're not highly publicized,
Right.
but you go to these bars and you see the MMA, it's just like, oh, you know there's gonna be a fight at the bar. You know
Yeah.
there's gonna be a fight at the bar afterwards. I mean, you're drinking, you're watching, these guys get beat up. Oh, that's what I was thinking. Mandingos. It's like Mandingos.
Hmm. So, so
You know.
I got a question. Remember back in the day, the rap concerts? It was always some sort of violence after a rap concert.
Hmm.
Back in the day.
But what's back in the day, like in the 90s?
Yeah, 90s. Yeah, the 90s. That's when I did a lot of partying. 90s. Um, and that's why some clubs would not play rap music. Like, you went to the other clubs that played the house music. The you didn't have that. You didn't worry about that. But when you went to, I never ever went to a rap concert. I've never experienced that. Um, or went to a rap club where they just played that. That was a theme
Mhm.
because it was known it was going to be some violence there.
Yeah, but I think there's an agenda with that.
Mhm.
I actually do want to do a show on music and the frequency of music.
Right. It was always some type of violence. I remember there
Yeah.
was this club called you might not remember. It was a club called the Rooftop. It was a skating rink by day. in a club by night. Like,
We're in Brooklyn.
no, it was in Harlem.
Oh
This
no.
was in the 80s.
Oh yeah. No, no, I wouldn't know.
And skating rink nights, but then at night, always a shootout. And it was a rap music type thing.
I don't
So you
necessarily think
know
it's
that's
a rap music. It's just I feel like certain groups of people are provoked.
what do you mean? Or provoked
Like we're constantly, people of a certain complexion are often provoked, are often
into
pushed,
so he's
and
saying, okay, it was
on
instigated
its right,
into these types of incidents to give rap music the stigma of being promoting violence.
right, and it would, it doesn't even have to be rap music. It could just be where people that look like us are there.
Right. Well, I
I
think
just
you're
feel
right because back then, rap music in the 80s and 90s wasn't about violence for the most part.
right,
It didn't, the violent stuff didn't really come into play when you had until you had the West Coast, East Coast beef. And then it was the West Coast that really did the gangster rapping. It was the West Coast, and then East Coast kind of not
yeah,
really, but
yeah.
then
I
we got
mean,
into late the 90s. Then you had they started calling themselves Murder Inc. and all of this stuff,
yeah, which
um,
we definitely need to do a show
and
on
I think
because
that
music
was
is a big deal.
playing. Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, music is definitely a big deal, and I just feel like even if there was country music being played at these skating rinks,
Mm,
because of the complexion of the people, something
mhm.
was going to go down anyway. And it's not
Right.
because of the complexion; it's just we're constantly being pushed on a daily basis.
Yeah, we're
Like,
pushed into violence and competitiveness and the things that the hood values, like someone stepping on your sneakers, things like that.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, yeah. But then think about it with being tied with like watching football and these fights and all
Yeah.
these other things,
Yeah.
right? So, violence begets violence,
Right.
right? So, now for children,
Mhm.
they're indoctrinated at a very young age. Look at the cartoons, how like Bugs Bunny would drop an anvil on some, Elmer Fudd
We found
or
that
someone,
funny. That was
right?
funny.
And then you would find kids taking things and dropping them on other kids' heads.
Mm.
I actually know someone whose brother like took something really heavy, a heavy paperweight, called his sister, that like she was playing underneath the desk or whatever. She was a few years older. He called her out, and then when she looked up, she was like, "Yes," boom, right on her nose.
Mm.
He must have seen that on a cartoon,
Yeah.
dropping the anvils and all that, and then you're fine.
Well,
So it
some kids
desensitizes you.
are enticed into doing something that some don't. Because I saw watch those cartoons all the time, but I never. What about dropping things on people's heads?
Well, I mean, every brain is different.
Right. Like I knew it was a cartoon and someone could actually get hurt. Maybe because my parents they took the time to say that's the cartoon. It's not real. And you can if that was having you get that would be really hurt someone. Maybe I
Hmm.
taught the difference.
Maybe, and then you also are. I'm sure you were wiser than a lot of children your age that you could discern better.
Hmm.
But that's one of the concerns is that there are children who can't, really tell the difference between the the fiction and reality.
Hmm.
So they just assume that it's all the same, and it's like, oh well, if no one gets hurt in this cartoon, then no one's going to get hurt in real life.
Right.
You know, let's see. Yeah, what was that?
Hmm. Go
Oh
ahead.
no, I wasn't sure if someone was like chiming in.
No, that was my text messaging. Somebody
Oh,
text.
got it.
Yeah.
So, do you remember Power Rangers?
Yeah, I remember that. That was so
Yeah,
fake. The
it
karate.
was it
Oof.
was so fake. And I don't understand what the appeal was.
It
There
was
were so many
I didn't
kids.
understand it either. Like people was really into that Power Rangers thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think that was like kind of like a precursor in some regards to anime. I don't know. There's
Mm.
something fascinating about the Chinese. I
Became
mean,
big.
I'm sorry, the
It became a
Japanese.
big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. So Power Rangers, there was a study done on Power Rangers, and they had 11-year-olds. So they had the control group, no Power Rangers, and then the experimental group
Hmm.
watched Power Rangers, right? So they watched an episode, and then after watching it, they saw that the children who watched the show showed significantly more aggression than the control group, 6 times more aggression.
Hmm. After watching Power,
Um,
man,
After
Power
watching
Rangers
Power
was not
Rangers,
really like compared to what we used to watch. Karate flicks. That was a big deal for us.
yeah, but you weren't watching karate flicks when you were like 10
Yeah,
to
I
the
was
same degree as
watching
Power
karate
Rangers.
flicks. I was
Every
because
day?
they had karate flicks. Uh, it used to be come on Saturday. Every Saturday they would air some karate flick.
Okay, that was on a Saturday, but
Yeah,
Power Rangers was on every day.
yeah,
I think like for a good hour. It was a lot that I was like, why is this show still on?
yeah.
Um, and so what they found was that the kids they would imitate the moves as bad as the moves were and the sounds.
Mm-hmm.
And studies showed about 140 to 200 violent acts per hour of Power Rangers.
And that's just
I
that
didn't
to
even think of.
me compared to watching Bugs Bunny and how they used to just shoot each other in the face, run over with trains, cars, um, and then compare that with the karate flicks. Power Rangers is a really soft thing.
Yeah, but I think also in the karate flicks again, it was just on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was like you saw grown men doing it,
Yeah,
and maybe there was
they will fly
some
across the
impulse control
room
because
and
yeah, but it's like okay, these are actual people doing, and you would see that they would get hurt. It's not like they would just get up right
well,
away.
yeah, they got hurt and yeah,
Well, Power Rangers, they barely got hurt. They would just like
roll
get
over.
thrown on the
Oh,
floor, and then they'd be like, "Yeah, I'm fine," you know. So
they
I think it's like you saw the consequences more with these um, karate movies,
right. Whereas the
right?
Power Rangers, there weren't really any consequences, like
Right.
real, like
Like you didn't
serious.
see their faces scratched up, you didn't see them bleeding. Like
Right.
in these karate movies, you saw them get beat up. You saw Bruce Lee with scratches on, either on his face
Yeah.
or on his chest.
But we
You saw him
imitated
getting
that. Me and my brother used to play fight all the time with that. Like, and when the commercial came on, we were doing these moves and really felt like we were doing them. Like we was mastering these moves. So, but we didn't try to go out in the real world and do it.
Yeah,
But I,
yeah.
I think I see your point because I see your point because you had shows like The Incredible Hulk, where the guy turns green and he's throwing stuff around, and that can mess with your mind as a kid,
Hmm.
and you try to imitate it. Because I tried to imitate the Hulk when I was a kid in a real life situation, like as a
Oh,
kid.
geez.
Yeah, man, I had a bunch of kids surrounding me, and then my brother came and helped me. When that's not really a long story, but it was stupid. They always bring that. Well, when my brother was alive, he always bring that up. You know.
What, that you were trying to be a Hulk?
Yeah, I was surrounded about 4 kids trying to jump me. I went to the store for my mother and I tried to get in the building and they kept me from getting in there. So I thought about the Hulk and tried to pretend to be the Hulk and But as I did that, my brother came out of the building, so I had some help, and then I was able to get out of it. So a fight didn't ensue, but it almost did. You know.
Well, what were you doing? Like throwing things? Like,
No, I tried to. It's stupid. I don't even want to talk about it. It's so stupid. I had on these shorts that were kind of tight, and I went like this, and they popped open, and the little button popped up. So yeah, what I used to do at home, I used to have those shorts, and I used to play like I was a hawk and look at me move and just bust out of my clothes. Like I would do stuff like that. Not really bust out, but it was just a little. The snap would just come off. That's all. That's all it did.
oh,
But it was dumb that I was a kid and I was reaching. It was either fight these four kids or it distracted them long enough that my brother came out the window. So it worked to a degree.
were they laughing? Were they
No,
laughing?
I think they were more shocked. Is he serious? you know, and then it distracted them. So then he came out, and then my although I was the oldest, my brother was bigger than me. He was taller and bigger and brawnier, and that's put everything to because they were in fear of him. Whenever he showed up, yeah.
Wow.
They weren't. Although I could defend myself good because of my stature. No one was intimidated by me until we got into something. But with him, because of his stature, it was an automatic. We don't want to deal with him. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Man, funny times.
It's just mad. People look at you and they just size you up, and he's the easier,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
easier to beat. But yeah, that was so. Yeah, so to your point, I could see how kids can be more aggressive because we saw stuff and we were doing all kind of, but we would play stuff. We would play around. We weren't really trying to hurt anybody. We just wanted to enjoy.
Yeah, but then when you think about it, at that time, impulse control was better.
Mm-hmm.
You had more of a community looking out for you.
Oh yeah, my father wasn't having it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had discipline to keep
Yeah.
us
So,
in check. Yeah,
right. So there's discipline. Then you have processed foods and what have you. Like
yeah.
your
Yep.
body can't handle stressors the same. So you're going to be easily triggered and hurt someone.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So there's so many factors. Like there were a lot more buffers
Mm-hmm.
when we were kids and before. Now it's like everyone just seems to be, you know, immersed in this violent, way of living. Like you have it on all the screens, your phone, your computer. You're seeing it like you go to Times Square and you see all these screens, and it's everywhere you go. It's
Everybody
there.
wants to see an action movie where there's shooting and all kind of
Hmm.
stuff. That's I want to see action. And I thought about that. Why are we so compelled to see shooting? People get shot and the hero kill a bunch of people, to get revenge or whatever, or to get justice.
Right.
I thought about that. Like, why are we so? And it's programming. It's
It's
programming.
definitely programming. There was this movie, I don't know the name of the movie, but I happened to see it this weekend. Just not actually watch it, but it was on, and I was at a restaurant or something. And this woman was literally like, it's like she was ice skating on blood, and they were like
Oh,
spies. It was weird, or it looked like blood, but they were like, she was just like killing people and making it look really nice. Like
trying to make it
she's
cool.
doing these elegant moves,
Hmm.
like ice skating, and just boom, 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 boom. Like, when you make things look like they're beautiful
Hmm.
and it's causing this carnage, it's like your brain can't disassociate. Like
Right.
it seems like they're connected.
Right.
Like you could kill someone and still look beautiful.
Right.
It's very, I don't know, disturbing. At least in the older movies, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like let's dance as we unalive
Yeah.
all these people.
Yeah. Violence when I came up as a kid, somebody got shot and just oh, no blood, no nothing, and it was
Yeah,
over. The scene was cut. Now is there's gore and cutting over, and you can see the guts hanging out, and it's like each film is trying to outdo the other in how much gore they can show, especially
yeah,
in horror movies.
yeah.
So I believe that the reason why we have so much violence because it's programmed into us from early, like through these different shows. Then we get the movies. Then you have the internet. Now with every device, you can dial up violence just like that. And then you have the social agendas that promote, like when the guy got shot, Charlie Kirk,
Hmm.
he got shot. Everybody wanted to go to war, and
Hmm.
on the internet losing their mind, talking about it's on, and just you don't even know this guy, and you're ready to kill other people because you think some group of people did it, and most of the who they thought it was irrational
Hmm.
thinking.
Hmm.
So it's just, but a lot of that, those emotions during that time just brought up what they already wanted to do in the first place. But that was
But
the
they've already been kind of programmed. Like that
right,
was like the trigger, but they've been exposed to so much beforehand.
right. So it just brought out what was really in them, to- you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So now with, like you said, the screens. So YouTube, there's a paper called "Disturbed YouTube for Kids: Characterize and Detecting Inappropriate Videos Targeting Young Children."
oh, okay.
So there's YouTube recommendations leading children to disturbing videos. It's like if the child has their algorithm set for certain shows, they start sneaking in these other shows that have similar looking characters, but they're violent. It's called Elsa Gate. It's a phenomenon called Elsa Gate.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Elsa's from the Disney movie, um, Frozen.
Frozen, yeah.
Yeah, Elsa's the sister that has the powers, right? So this phenomenon, what it is these shows get mimicked, and then they have violent and scary or really gory scenes. A student of mine was showing me like these evil alphabets.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I don't like watching them because they scare me. And I said, why are you watching this? He's
Right.
like, oh, because it just comes on the screen. He's not
Okay.
looking for it.
It
It
just
just came
pops up.
on.
Right.
And now he looks for it because it's like that dopamine hit when you're scared.
Mm.
But he doesn't like it, but then he wants to feel scared,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there's unfortunately there's a lot of these mimicked shows. And now you have these AI generated videos that use popular characters and they're really disturbing themes. So you have these cat videos where
Mm-hmm.
like there's this cat that like, really is buff, right? It's like a humanoid cat. And he does some crazy stuff like tosses kids.
Mm.
It's really insane. Um, and they're just very, very gory, very gory.
Right.
So you have these kids who are watching Coco Melon, and the algorithm feeds them these things,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden they're watching this gory stuff, and the parents aren't paying attention because their parents are doing their own thing. Their parents are probably scrolling on the phone or cooking dinner. I mean, but a lot of parents are scrolling, unfortunately. Um, but Yeah, and then they did a study where they had accounts for 9 to 14-year old, right? They looked at accounts that were made up for 9 to 14-year-olds just to see what would pop up. And YouTube recommended videos involving guns, school shootings, and etc.
Mm.
Now you have children with so many mental health issues, and they're watching this.
Hmm. So you think that's done by on purpose?
I think so. Again, it takes us away from God.
Well, I
Going back
think
to the
it is.
Bible
I
verse.
think there's some type of it's it's done on purpose because like when you talk about certain topics, they immediately take you off and delete your video. So if they can scrub your account to see what's on it that they can take off, then they know what they're pushing off to the kids
Right,
by mistake.
right. It's like, did you ever see X-Men?
Hmm.
There was, I forgot which one. I think it was the creature. Was it the creature?
Oh, what's his name?
The blue guy, the blue
The blue.
guy,
It's two. It was two blue guys. One was really skinny, and then it was one that was the
the
beast.
beast.
The beast. Yeah.
Right. So they had the beast like just watching violence, and you just hear him going, "Arr, arr, arr," and he's like getting more and more restless and like
Hmm.
intense,
Right.
right? And then the good guys come in and change the programming and show him things about love,
Right.
and he immediately calms down.
Right.
So of course they're gonna want to keep on going with the violence.
Right.
You know, it it keeps the jails full or the prisons full.
Hmm.
It keeps it produces single family homes.
Right.
Um, yeah, it actually affects society on a financial, like the economy is literally bolstered in one way and suffers in another way.
Hmm.
And where it's bolstered, like private prisons or what have you, it's only a few people that earn this insane amount of money,
Hmm.
and then it takes away from just the community.
Right. I don't think they care. It's
No, they
about
don't care.
it's about business. So
Mhm.
without crime, we didn't have any problems with crime. A lot of the law enforcement agencies wouldn't be necessary,
Mhm.
which would in turn put them out of a job. And then also, crime feeds this type of economy. It feeds it
Mhm.
because they love to go to the low income neighborhoods or the poorer neighborhoods to enforce drug dealing and
Mhm.
violence things. But how did these things even get in the neighborhood? They don't have the resources to get all of that. So
Mhm.
they are not really trying to stop anything. They just
Mhm.
it's to go after the poor neighbors is pure economics of creating jobs and putting people in prison so that they can keep those businesses running.
Right.
So
I
the
mean,
poor people are
judges.
feeding the system. Yeah.
Yeah. How many? You'd have a lot less judges,
Right.
and then you have these judges who are
Right.
supposedly tough on crime. Are they really tough on crime?
No, they tough on crime in only designated neighborhoods. That's it.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that they are gonna use to keep those businesses running.
Hmm.
So
Yep. So yeah, it's so disturbing. So what parents can do for like YouTube, they can turn off autoplay features,
right.
and they can use parental controls. Sadly, even if you go to YouTube Kids or Netflix
Mhm.
Kids, that's actually like
It's
a
more.
backdoor
Yeah, they got
to more of this.
witchcraft. They're doing they it's off the chain on the kids Netflix.
Hmm.
with the
Mm-hmm.
type of stuff that they're watching. They're watching things that they wouldn't allow on when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
I know, like, one of my students has a lunchbox. I saw it today, and it's like a demon girl group.
mhm.
And I'm
Yeah, I
just
think
like,
that's the I know what you're talking about. Yeah. That's been out a while.
I just, it's really,
That's actually soft compared to the other stuff that's on there. That's actually one of the old is not, milder ones.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just, I don't understand why parents are okay with allowing this.
Because I don't think parents are really watching it. They look at it and they move away from it. They're so distracted, and the kid is quiet so they can get a break. Think about you have a society that constantly pumps in your head since the day you come in the world. Oh, you got to grow up because they always ask, "What do you want to be? What you want to grow up to go get a job so you can pay your bills, right? Be responsible." But that is a method of putting people into a system where they're constantly distracted from who they are and taking care of their family. They may be able to pay the bills, but they will always fall short in raising their children. Because why?
Mm-hmm.
Most of the children go off to public school for most of the day. Then they come home, the parents come home, and if there's one in most homes now, one parent. So that person is doing everything, they're worn out. So
Yeah.
to get a little bit of alone time, the kids off there quiet, that's what's important to them.
Right. Right. Right.
So
Yeah. They need that
the
express lifestyle.
and people don't understand elementary school is the gateway to prison. People don't really know that.
Mm.
Elementary school is where they do the studies to know where they're gonna build the prisons at. Because they study the grades and they say, well, this is likely where we could build our prisons. Because when these kids become adults, they most likely these certain kids are not gonna finish school. They're gonna go to a life of crime, and we could put them in our businesses and support that. So they know that those standardized testing is not to see how smart the kids are. It's for the corp
Mm-hmm.
see where they need to build infrastructure for their prison system. You see,
Mm-hmm.
we think that's for oh he's smart. No, those tests. A lot. There's kids who ace those tests and cannot function in life after acing them. It's the ones that usually the ones that do better are the ones who don't really ace the test. They the ones that come out and become more successful than the ones that are the straight A's for the most part. But those tests are not really they're designed and they also designed they study the differences in the cultures and how they are able to take tests and how they reason. They have these studies and they know that certain groups of people will do better than others with that if they design the test a specific way. So even that's manipulated.
And then that's the energy that kind of goes into that neighborhood
Right,
or that area. Like, oh
right,
yeah, like
right, right.
everyone did good here. So
Yeah.
this is a great school. You're great kids.
Mm-mm,
You know,
mm-mm. It's
yeah.
manipulated because they got it down to a science. That's why the
Hmm.
violence is promoted. It's okay for a kid to watch somebody to get their head blown off.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
okay because we they that to promote that type of thing will keep unfortunately this system to keep it running it needs violence, it needs drugs, it needs some form of prostitution, it needs the people to commit crimes. There's other crimes I want to say, but I don't want to be very specific because then they start flagging stuff. It needs all of that to keep it going. Without it, this the way this structure of system is set up, it would collapse on itself.
Hmm.
If there was
Hmm.
peace and harmony and people working together, that's
Right.
why they disrupt certain groups of people's homes. by offering benefits. Say, well, you give you these business benefits and you forget about that demand, we'll take care of you. And it's,
Yeah.
you see it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And if a person is getting something guaranteed from somewhere else, they will not put the energy in maintaining a relationship, which in turn leads to violence. Because boys, I don't care what anybody say, needs a good role model, male role model in his life.
Mm-hmm.
A good one.
Yeah.
Keep
Yeah.
him in check because boys are absolutely, when they're young, they make the stupidest decisions. They think wild because it's in their nature. Okay, we're growing up to be protectors and providers, but if they're not uh, groomed properly, they're gonna be aggressive, and I can instantly tell when a kid doesn't have a father
Mm-hmm.
in his life because how he relates to other males.
Mm-hmm.
Because a male that has a good role model as a man, he comes to other males with respect.
Mm-hmm.
But a kid that doesn't have a good role model, he comes to other men like he can just say anything and behave anyway, be like with
Mm-hmm.
no consequences because he's not being told by, hey, listen, you don't run up on you. You can get yourself in a lot of trouble running up on men with certain behaviors. Um,
Yes.
but that's all of these things is what fuels the violent society that we have today. All of those things, and it's purpose. It's on purpose.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. But there is a solution that we can
Mhm.
all do.
Throw the phones away.
So,
No
well,
phone.
the phones are one thing, but the thing is that now they become like a necessary evil.
Right.
You know, I mean, you have to. It's like you feed the wolf. Which wolf are you feeding, right?
Right.
So, like for me, my algorithm is not set on violence. It's not set on dumb stuff. Like I'm looking up naturopaths on
Right.
YouTube, or things about meditation, or things about to elevate your consciousness. Then that's what I keep on getting, or news stuff, but like news that is from other countries that actually has a better balance than the mainstream media and comedy shows that we have, here in the States, Clown News Network, Foul News Network, Fox. All these really, they're more, to me, more comedy than anything, more like slapstick comedy than anything at this point. But meditation is a powerful tool that we can all do.
Hmm.
And so there's actually a few studies that I have here listed. There was a specific type of meditation, a non-panasati meditation done for 6 months, and there was a decrease in verbal aggressiveness. Now, these were with adults. Another study showed adult offenders with mild intellectual disabilities. Now, people must be aware that a lot of the people who are in prison do have some sort of
Yeah.
intellectual
Yeah.
disability
Right.
or
I
head
would agree with
trauma.
that. I would agree with that because you notice those with the intellectual disabilities were the ones who always got into trouble in school,
Right,
and it was
right. They
always
couldn't,
surrounding some violence or something.
right. They didn't have the frustration tolerance,
Hmm.
right? And then it just keeps on going. Like
Hmm.
that child's like, oh, that child is a problem child. And it's too overwhelming for them. And then school becomes
Let me.
more
What do you
challenging.
think creates that what's the term we just used?
Intellectual
Intellectual
disability.
disability. Do you think the environment itself being, because a lot of these, when I went to school, there was kids who didn't have food in their house. The only meals they got was at the school, and there was a lot of
Hmm.
abuse going on in the home. Uh,
Hmm.
and then they got to go to school, coming
Hmm.
with smelling like urine sometimes, not
Hmm.
clean, and the only food they got was at school. You think that's um what it causes this intellectual disability?
It's multifactorial. You know, you have multi-generational issues. You have, again, the food not being the same. Um, you have, I mean, you have now you have these medical interventions, right?
Mm,
That they drastically increased after the 90s. There's so many things. You have pollution in the air. Babies now are born with over 200 toxins in their blood. So
that,
how is that going to affect brain
that's
development?
before the other things they try to pump in them.
Right, exactly. So you have, a lot of factors. Um, and I would just say, like, there was more, at least in the schools that I work in, you had more of a difference. You had the kids who really struggled, and you had the kids that were doing relatively well.
Right.
And now it's like you have children, not that they're necessarily violent, but or have violent behaviors, but they just struggle overall, just to read, just to write. So
Right.
it just
Got some
seems to
additional
be
things going on. They can't really focus.
right, right.
Yeah.
And then they don't have the food that feeds the brain to allow them to focus. Like if you don't have
Yeah, they eating junk
the
food. They
building blocks, right,
processed. Right.
right.
Yeah.
So you don't have the
Cocoa
building blocks.
puffs. We didn't have
I
that.
know.
That was a luxury in my house, those types of cereals. My parents didn't buy that stuff. I mean, we
Yeah.
got it every now and then, and when we got that, man, it was like you felt like you were being rewarded. But my parents did not buy Frosted Flakes and Rice Krispies, Sugar Smacks. We didn't have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good for
We
you
only got
guys.
actually we only got it at the school. They're the ones who fed it to us. A little box and you open it up.
Yes.
And make it, yeah, now I would have to say that's by design that they will poison us through the school system
Mm-hmm.
to keep us hyperactive.
Mm-hmm.
And I would put money on it. You go to these certain neighborhood schools, they wouldn't be fed that stuff.
No. Mm-mm.
You know.
Mm-mm. No. Um, yeah, it's I encourage parents to make sure that their kids eat at home and eat a wholesome meal
Right.
versus
I know it's
eating.
tough to cook and all of that, but these days, no,
You know what it is? They're also not teaching the kids to cook. I mean, by a certain age, the kids can cook.
right.
The
But I
kids can
think
learn how to make
the
pancakes. The kids
mothers
can
that
learn
are
how to
having
make.
children don't want to cook or can't cook. So it's easier to go buy some pre-made food.
Right. And then you go to the supermarkets, everything is bright, anything that's unhealthy has all these colors, and the kids are just like, oh, what's that? I want that. And they have a temper tantrum if they don't get it. So the parents will just give in. I mean, the the amount of thought that went into all this crap
Hmm.
is really mind blowing.
Hmm.
It's really mind blowing. But let me get back to the meditation.
Hmm.
So, they did another study with youth in correctional facilities, and they received mindfulness based cognitive training.
Hmm.
And they showed significant drops in aggression, anger, and hostility.
I think I
Right?
heard about this study. I believe
Yeah,
I
there's quite a few. Even a 3-week daily mindfulness meditation reduced aggressive behavior when people were provoked.
did.
Okay, so here you are being provoked, and you're just like, no, I'm in a Zen mode. I'm good.
Right.
Transcendental meditation in schools showed a decrease in absenteeism, rule infractions, suspension days, compared to a control group.
Mm.
Transcendental meditation uh, can have an impact even during times of war.
Mhm.
Are you aware of that?
No, I didn't. I'm sure it would because what I know about meditation, I'm sure it would have an impact,
Yeah,
but
so let me
I
go ahead
wasn't
and.
aware of the study.
It's called, so there is something called the Maharishi effect.
Hmm.
So the Maharishi effect, where'd it go? So this phenomenon was noticed in 1974 and reported in a paper published in 1976. Here, the finding was that when 1%, just 1% of a community practiced transcendental meditation, crime rate was reduced by 16% on average.
That's a pretty good number.
That is an excellent number. I mean, and imagine if there's more people doing it. So
Mm,
I'm wondering if it's a direct correlation to the percentage. So if it's 2% of the population of the community,
mm,
will it be 32%? Like think about Care Bears.
mm-hmm.
Remember Care Bears care,
Mm-hmm.
and
That was a big deal.
they just put all this love, all this care,
Mm-hmm.
and anything bad was just diffused.
Right.
That is really like, it's more, to me it's more like a documentary than it is a cartoon.
Right. Yeah.
So I go to these times of war. So there was during a war in Lebanon in the early 1980s, a group of people practicing transcendental meditation in Jerusalem in 1983 um, showed like every time these people meditated, war deaths in Lebanon reportedly dropped by approximately 76%.
That's a big number.
70. That
66.
is huge.
Yeah.
Over multiple replications, other related indicators, war related injuries, level of battles, and cooperation among antagonists were claimed to show significant improvements. Injuries down by approximately 68%.
Mm-hmm.
In Cambodia, and this was from 1993 to 2008, um, a study on this Maharishi effect claimed a 96.2% decline in socio-political violence in Cambodia compared to preceding 3 years.
Mm. So we need meditation.
Meditation's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
If we all did it in the morning and before bed,
That would change. That'd be a big game
that,
changer.
yeah, and it has to be with great intention.
Mm-hmm.
Like tomorrow morning, I'm doing a meditation at 4:15 in the morning. So once we're done,
And you're serious.
I'm going to
Yeah.
bed. And supposedly there is meditation at that time of the morning is 40% more powerful.
It is. I would agree. Yeah, it is. Just got
Now, but it does
to
mess
yeah,
with your circadian rhythms, and it messes with like your detoxing. So I don't think I could do this on a regular basis.
right. But if you did
But
it once, maybe twice a week, it's good. That's a good boost.
yeah.
You just did it, not every day.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I mean, if I was a monk and I didn't have a regular job, maybe.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so these are things that we can all do if we can all get up in the morning and do this, meditate, even if it's for 5 minutes.
Right.
Imagine the shift that would be made. Imagine if all of New York City would meditate.
You'd have a happier city, more patience.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you know, and this is free.
Yep, it is.
This is free. This is like every school day should be started with movement and meditation.
Hmm.
The kids need to move, and meditation helps, like, just overall. It's so simple. Like, you have all these people coming into the schools. Oh, this consultant, that consultant. But why are they spending all this money?
Hmm.
Let the
But there,
kids play for an hour and then meditate for like 10
There are
minutes.
schools that actually do that, but they're not public schools. My ex, she used to do those bowls, hit the bowl
Yeah, singing bowls.
and singing, give the kids quiet time.
Mm-hmm.
That that I believe that had a good effect on the kids, and those kids generally did a lot better in society coming out of those types of schools.
Yes.
Um, like it's Montessori was the name of the program.
Well, Montessori is also like not academic based. It's more of community. Like you learn by doing.
Mm-hmm.
So the kids will learn how to cook and clean and
Right.
help each other. Um, Whereas you go to these other schools and it's just like, no, sit down and learn.
To then learn count to two and all of that crap.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's boring.
Yes, it is.
That's
I
boring, you
think
know?
it's necessary, but I don't. I think they try to cram too much down a child's throat at a time. Meaning, okay, let's learn some math, but let's spend 10, 15 minutes on it and then move on instead of a
Hmm.
whole hour. You know, because I learned this from playing the guitar, learning how to play the guitar. And my teacher said, listen, don't try to sit there and practice for hours on end. You're not going to get any better doing that. What you do is practice 10, 15 minutes at a time and then put it down. We'll give it a rest. Then go back. And when I practice like that, I pick it up a lot faster.
Mm.
But there was times where I tried to move and he said, no, when you feel yourself getting overwhelmed or it's just too much or fatigued, just put it down. Leave it alone. And
Hmm.
then go back to it. And when I went and did it like he said, it was like it just it all clicked and came together in the 10, 15-minute intervals of
Hmm.
learning. And I think that's what children need. They need 10, 15 minutes. This is it, but you sit there for an hour. After a while, your mind starts to wander and attention spans
Hmm.
are very short.
Hmm.
I mean, adult attention spans. So we just force ourselves to pay attention. But
Right.
you sit somewhere for an hour, your mind has wandered 100 times somewhere else.
Hmm.
Is wondered, oh, I gotta cook, I gotta go to the store, blah blah blah. Then you bring yourself back. Whereas a kid, once his mind wandered, he's gone.
Yeah.
That's it. He's gone. So,
Yeah.
hey, I got a meeting to be on
Yes.
after this, but
And I have to go to bed because I have to be up by four
yes,
o'clock in the
yes,
morning so I can
yes.
do my 4:15 meditation.
But this is definitely good topic about the violence because it's everywhere, and we take
Everywhere.
it for granted. So when we
Hmm.
have violent things going, oh, why is that? We have it because we live in a society that promotes violence through sports, through we watch people beat each other, UFC fightings and martial arts, and that's all entertainment for us.
Right. It's entertainment
Mm-hmm.
and it's
Right.
entering your mind. So again, just we all have a power. We can all meditate,
Mm-hmm. Right. And
you know?
meditation is very powerful because when I do it, I get results when you're intentional about it.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
All right. This was another great episode of the Unbound Soul, talking about violence. And are you going to talk about the rap music next week? Is that the topic
I think next week,
on music?
I don't know, maybe
Okay,
that
well
or discipline.
let me
The
know.
importance of discipline.
Huh?
Either that or the importance
Discipline.
of discipline.
Yes. We all need that. All
Yeah.
right. Um, I'll let you close it out.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. We wish you peace and love, paz y mucho, mucho amor. And have a lovely evening, have a lovely week, and just bring that love into the world,
All
even if it's
right.
just a minute.
All right. Until next week, peace, prosperity, extreme wealth to all. Have a good night. Peace.